The two people get something totally different out of them, but they're doing the same exact thing. They're doing the same reps, same time, same work. But one guy is going through the motions without any purpose, any intention, any drive, any motive, right? Without any vision. And the other guy is doing it and moving his body in a way where I can tell he's going somewhere. I can tell he's doing something with a purpose. You do not need a complicated game plan. You do not need to figure out rocket science. You just need a simple plan that you're going to stick to, right? And then from there, you evolve your game plan one step at a time, one rep at a time, one day at a time, right? Here we go, Ballplayers Evolution Episode 2. I gave you a little sneak peek on this one last episode. This one is called Motions or Motives. And what am I talking about here? Let me just give you a quick example. Plenty of times I'm going to see a player in the cage, on the field, practicing in the gym, wherever, and they are, let's just say they go through a 45-minute workout. And I'll see somebody else do the same exact thing, same amount of reps, same amount of sets. If it's hitting the cage, it's the same amount of swings. And the two people get something totally different out of them. But they're doing the same exact thing. They're doing the same reps, same time, same work. But one guy is going through the motions without any purpose, any intention, any drive, any motive, right? Without any vision. And the other guy is doing it and moving his body in a way where I can tell he's going somewhere. I can tell he's doing something with a purpose, right? I can tell maybe he puts in the same amount of reps, but he does it with just a little bit more quality. He does it a little bit differently, right? That's the guy that's getting somewhere. They're not just going through the motions. And I can promise you this, because I've been there myself. The guy who goes through the motions and just goes through the motions to get it done, he's going to die off a lot quicker. His routine is not going to last nearly as long. He might do it for 3 days a week, and then the following week, same thing again, 3 days. But then the following after that, he might only do it 2 days. And then it's going to die off to one, and then eventually it'll be non-existent because there's no reason behind what he's doing, right? There's no real motive. There's no real why. There's no vision, right? Because if there's no vision about what this end goal is that you're doing this thing for, it's going to die off just like anything else does, right? And so you got to do something that's sustainable, but you've got to be able to have a vision and a motive as to why you're doing these things. And so think about that. Do not step into the gym without a reason or a purpose of what you're trying to accomplish. Do not step into the batting cage just trying to get swings in. What even is that? Getting swings in, right? You can do that at home, just taking practice dry swings in your garage, right? And sometimes essentially get the same thing, which is not what you want. You've got to have a little bit of a plan, a little bit of a motive every single time that you put that bat in your hand, every single time that you put that dumbbell in your hand, every time you're lacing up your shoes to go do sprints, right? Have a game plan. And really what you guys should be doing is writing them down, right? Have this stuff written down in your phone, in a notebook somewhere where you can start to actually track it, right? Put a number to it, right? Put a number to what you're trying to do without just going through the motions, right? And so if you combine those two things, right, like a detailed plan with how many reps you want to do with your motive, now you're getting somewhere. Now you're getting to where you want to be. Because that guy is going to do more and more reps each time. The guy who just goes through the motions just to get through the motions with no real purpose, right? Or maybe they're doing it for somebody else. They're doing it because their mom or dad told them they had to do it, or the coach told them they had to do it. That is not sustainable. It's going to die off. And I challenge you guys, I don't care how old or young you are, stop doing things just to do them and get through the motions. Start doing things that you're passionate about, right? Well, I know that doesn't apply for everything. I'm not saying you just stop doing your homework altogether, because you got to get through those things that you don't want to do. But when you do that, when you go through those things you don't want to do more often, now the things that you do want to do become more rewarding, a lot more rewarding, because you know you've earned it. All right, so let's take it back a step. Motions or motives. Think about this. What are you doing? Are you going through the motions more often? Or are you motivated in the way that you move? Right? And so you got to be in that motives mindset. You've got to be able to have a little bit of a game plan before you start your session. And then a little bit of a evaluation process when you're done. Like how much did you really put in? Did you put in your work with a purpose, or did you just put in work? Right? I can move a pile of dirt from one section of my yard to another section of my yard, but that doesn't really get anything done. I'm doing a lot of work, but that does not give me any productivity. And that's kind of what I see sometimes with guys or girls that are training, right? Taking a bunch of swings without any purpose, right? Not really attacking the adjustments that are needed to be made. That's huge. I'll give you a quick example. I've done this myself. I've fallen into this trap. I'm in the game, I'm missing under the ball, right? Maybe I had 3 strikeouts because I know I'm missing under the ball. Then I get in the cage and I go back to hitting line drives again, which is nice. But I didn't really attack my problem. My problem was I was under the ball. What I should have been doing was getting in there and attacking the top of the ball more, maybe even hitting more ground balls to assure that that same mistake is not going to happen to me for my next game, right? And that's going to surprise a lot of you. But your adjustments are more important than your perfect reps, or as a hitter, your perfect swings, right? Because if your perfect swings were really working for you, they would have showed up in the game, but they didn't. And that happens time and time again. We think we have perfect swings in the cage because they look good, and then we get in the game, something's totally different. You need to be able to evaluate and adjust, right? And again, can't stress this enough. It's less about perfect and more about a game of adjustments. The better and quicker you can adjust, the longer your career will be. So take 2 minutes. Take 2 minutes, 5 minutes, hopefully a half hour on your own in your room. Shut the door. Start jotting down some things on a piece of notebook paper or on your phone. Start jotting down, why am I doing this? What are my motives, right? What are my goals right now? Do I want to be a faster player? Do I want to be a stronger player? Right? Do I want to get in better shape? Do I want to be more well-rounded and balanced, improving in all areas? Is there one weakness in my game that I know I have to address? Otherwise, the other team's going to keep abusing me, right? And exposing that in my game. And that's a big one for sure, right? But think about it, right? And the last thing I'll leave you with is this. You do not need a complicated game plan. You do not need to figure out rocket science. You just need a simple plan that you're going to stick to, right? And then from there, you evolve your game plan one step at a time, one rep at a time, one day at a time, right? There's actually no such thing as figuring out the ultimate game plan all at once. That will never happen for you. And so that's why you need to start with a simple game plan. You start simple, you evaluate, you adjust, and it's just a repeating process. But you need to have clear thoughts. You need to have a clear purpose, right? And so, simple with a purpose. Let that be your final sticking note for this podcast. And really spend some time thinking about what your true motives are and why it is you're doing what you're doing, right? Are you doing it for somebody else? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it because you want to see success? There's a million different reasons. Are you doing it because you want to enjoy the game more and have fun more? Because the game is more fun when you're starting to taste some success. So think about it, guys. That's all I have for this one. Stay tuned. Like, subscribe, share it. A lot more to come. I'm going to try to keep them short and simple. And I hope you guys get something out of it.